Hey everyone, Ryan here, and welcome to Ask MandR, episode 331, the series where I answer your questions about Lego Star Wars, anything you want. Leave your questions or topics for next week's episode in the comments section below, and you just might get picked. This episode, by the way, is sponsored by Rakuten, who's going to be helping you get cash back during your Black Friday shopping to make some of those deals even crazier. So we'll talk a little bit more about them later in the video. And we have our first viewer question from Gag Dodgers, who says, now since there are no rumors for dioramas, does that mean that Lego is retiring them? And this answer could be split into three different answers. There's just so many different ways to answer this. The deal with rumors, obviously, is that you just never know when they're going to pop up. Tomorrow, a rumor could pop up that is legitimate that a 2025 Lego Star Wars diorama set is coming out. But I think the context that's really missing from your question is that there are no dioramas rumored for the first half of 2025, and for the last 3 or 4 years, we have always had dioramas for the first half of the year. And so the rationale here is not unsound that this could be the end of diorama sets. I don't think it is. I think they're saving dioramas for the second half of 2025 to coincide with some Revenge of the Sith anniversary push, and the dioramas will of course be themed for Revenge of the Sith. That is definitely me being very hopeful. It is absolutely against Lego's recent trend of always releasing the diorama sets in the first half of the year. And the worst thought that popped in my head today when I was at Barnes & Noble and I saw they still had the Death Star Trench Run diorama on the shelf. That set has been retired for 11 months and no one has purchased it at retail price at that Barnes & Noble near me. And so yeah, maybe they're not the hottest sellers and maybe they are retiring them. And so you just have to keep that in mind too. This could be it for diorama sets. I don't think it is, but yeah, it's obviously going to go one of two ways. They're going to make more or they aren't. I lean towards that they are, but there's also some potentially valid reasons that they wouldn't, but it would really suck that they stop right on the Revenge of the Sith anniversary year, wouldn't it? Next question from the Bean Man. He says, do you think the UCS Millennium Falcon will get another extension on its shelf life, or will it be retired at the end of 2025? The set was released in fall of 2017. Its original retirement date apparently was the end of 2020, got pushed to the end of 2022, and is currently the end of 2025. I think the end of 2025 might actually be it, though I see an interesting take from Brick Fanatics, who says that the 50th anniversary of Star Wars is in 2027, which makes a ton of sense that they would bring out another new UCS Falcon in that year, and so giving it a couple of years to be retired and make people maybe want something new out of them would make a lot of sense to me. And maybe it would be a slightly downscaled UCS Falcon. Maybe that would be the only thing they could really change up to make it maybe more affordable, or it'll end up being the first $1,000 Lego set, which has always been kind of a topic on the channel from time to time. Now, I don't remember exactly when they pushed it to a 2025 retirement date, but I will add that they pushed a lot of other sets back recently, including the ATT, and I think that got pushed to the summer of 2026 as a retirement date. And I think if the UCS Falcon was going to last longer than 2025, they would have already pushed it past 2025. That's just no inside info, just a complete guess based on some information that I'm sure is possibly incomplete, but it's definitely time for that set to go. It's been out way too long, and so I can't wait to see what they do to maybe refresh this set in the future. I've also been a pretty big proponent of switching it over to black box art, which I think is too late now. They should have done that 4 years ago. But yeah, I think that set might actually finally retire in 2025. But I also, because of what Brick Fanatics said, the 50th anniversary and also the 20th anniversary of the original UCS Falcon coming out in 2007, I think 2027 getting another new UCS Falcon would make all the sense in the world. So that'll be a very interesting thing to see how it plays out over the rest of the decade. Charlie Batten says, what is the oldest Star Wars set that you think could be released with the exact same design today and would hold up well? For me, I'd say the 9500 Sith Fury class Interceptor. The build and minifigs are so excellently designed that if released today, I don't think that there would be any significant backlash regarding the design or fig choice. Well, I think your problem here is you've chosen a set where you have Darth Malgus and he has yellow eyes, except he has pupils. And everyone knows that the current modern Lego Star Wars pupilless design for Sith is just far and away better. I think I picked out 5 or 6 sets from the early to mid 2000s that definitely fit the bill here. So let's start with the first one. This is a set that I had the absolute pleasure of reviewing earlier this year, and it's the Technic Droideka from 2000. This one I think could possibly be released today as is. The functionality of this thing for being 24 years old, like, blew me away when I got to, like, actually finally build and review and enjoy the set, you know? Completely insane that it's as good as it is. It also looks insanely accurate for a Droideka for 24 years old. And even like today, I thought it looked good. The only problem with this set is that it is in the old brown and old gray colors. So on a technicality, it wouldn't stand up to today, but let's just assume it's updated to the modern Lego colors and you're like basically on point. Maybe the 2002 UCS Naboo Starfighter would still hold up really well today, design-wise. I still think it's maybe the sleekest Naboo. It has to be the sleekest Naboo Starfighter. That chrome is just so sick. The 2007 MTT, I also feel like definitely belongs on a list like this. Next question from Gemisty. He says, Ryan, I know you're not a big Lego Marvel person. I'm a medium Lego Marvel person. But what is your opinion on the new Captain America Red Hulk set? To put into perspective, the Leviathan set from earlier this year was considered very overpriced, has one more minifig, and also has Hulk, which should be the same price as Red Hulk. It has 100 more pieces and is $5 cheaper than the new Red Hulk set. What can we do about this outrageous Lego behavior? Well, I suppose if you consider it outrageous, stop buying it. I know that's what everyone says every time. If you don't like it, don't buy it. But I mean, the simple answer is that. You can also like go on their social media and comment, or you can contact their customer service and complain about it all you'd like all day, and that will at least get back to them very directly. But I've had this set here for a couple of weeks now, and when I got it, I was like, yeah, $55 is insane. This is, to me, like a $30 set box, and so, you know, over time, boxes stay the same size, and the price goes up, and I get it, but $55 for a set in this size box with 223 pieces blew my mind. This is everything, right? It's all, like, this is everything from the set. You get the two figures. I guess there's a pilot in there, and then Red Hulk for $55. Yeah. Oh no, my Santa Jedi Bob! The one that's available on MandRshop.com starting Black Friday and also on Whatnot. This for $55 is absurd, but we know the Ahsoka's Jedi Starfighter is coming out for $45, and this makes the Ahsoka's Jedi Starfighter feel like a deal. I'm not gonna lie, like it does. The bottom of this looks like a 4+ set, if that's worth anything to you. I don't know, man. I wanted to review this set specifically because it's like so overpriced feeling, and so I feel like this is an absolute stay away, but you know how people are. Like I read the comments of what people say about a lot of this type of stuff, and it's just like, oh yeah, I really want that Red Hulk, so I'm gonna buy it anyway. And I'm like, I get it. I buy one of everything too anyway. But I also make reviews on it, and like that's kind of my job, versus like the general consumer of like that complains about the price, and they're like, oh, but it's overpriced, but I'm gonna buy it. You know, I don't know. I already feel like $40 would be pushing it on a set like this, but I'd totally stay away from the Red Hulk set. It's not that great for $55. All right, fellas, small break from the questions, but if you want to get the best value out of this year's Black Friday sales, you've got to be using this video's sponsor, Rakuten. Rakuten is the largest cashback site, partnering with over 3,500 of the best name brands, including Lego, Target, Walmart, and many more places that you either might be buying Lego at, or let's say you need a vacuum for your mom for Christmas. Hopefully my mom doesn't watch this video and find out what I'm buying her for Christmas. So whether you're buying gifts for Christmas or getting yourself some last minute retiring sets, you can get extra cash back this Black Friday by clicking through with Rakuten. You can go through the website or the app, but my personal favorite way to buy is with the free browser extension that will notify you what sites offer cash back when you go on the website. If you sign up now using my link in the description below, you can get $40 bonus cash back after your first purchase of $40 or more using Rakuten, which if you put towards Red Hulk, suddenly it's a $15 set and doesn't seem like quite that bad of a buy. Jacob Johnson says, is there anything you don't like about your Billy bookshelves? People keep asking me what these are called every once in a while. They are IKEA Billy bookshelves. He says, I'm picking up 3 soon for my display. What size of weather stripping did you use that seemed to fit so good? Also, do you just recommend them overall? Thanks. Yeah, no, I absolutely love them. I think they look great. The lighting, I have had people ask about too. It's not built in. I know some of this might be a repeat for some people, but to answer your original question, what I don't like about them is that they don't fit everything. And that's kind of inherent to any type of shelving. If you get really big shelving that has lots of space for big UCS sets, well, it doesn't really work so great for a lot of smaller sets. And so I have some specific cases or shelves or stacking kits, whatever you want to call them, that I got from Scobo cases lately. And they are made to fit like the UCS Falcons. And so they're not good for a lot of the smaller sets that maybe my IKEA Billies are good for. It's the only like bad downside to getting these shelves is that you're not going to be putting UCS sets sets in them, with the exception of a few. Like I got the UCS A-Wing in one of them. The UCS sail barge technically fits if you take the back piece off, but I just recently went ahead and moved it upstairs when I finally built those smaller cases on top. I think it looks great up there. But yeah, you're just going to be limited to play sets, and even then you can't fit the new Star Destroyer, you can't fit the new Republic gunship, so there's a lot of sets that you just aren't going to be able to fit, and that's fine, but it's a downside. Kyle Biss says, what's the deal with the new Iron Man mech getting a second minifig for $1 less than the Luke mech with only one fig and not even the best version of Luke? And I saw the picture of the Iron Man mech that you were talking about. So 76307, 101 pieces, $15, and 2 minifigs with the Iron Man and Ultron there. And they look like fairly high quality figures. They've got leg printing, just like maybe the Luke from the X-Wing, but no like dual molded legs or printed arms. But that's why you would think the Luke from the X-Wing would have dual molded legs. It's $1 more, it's got one figure less, and they're charging that premium. And I think the mechs are my favorite example of Lego Star Wars being like clearly, unquestionably overpriced and putting a tax on it. And so it's interesting to me because my understanding of it coming up and just, you know, drinking all of Lego's Kool-Aid, whatever they say goes, is that for a long time, they would say and claim that they spread licensing costs to other themes, which is probably true in some capacity. But to see such an obvious spot here where all of these sets should be the same price, if you make a mech $15 for Marvel, it should be $15, not $16 for Star Wars, and same for Batman. It's like a little bit insane to me. The obvious big difference between this set and some of the Star Wars mechs, though, is that the piece count on this one is way down. It's probably 50 pieces less than the Star Wars mechs on average. And so they've done something with this mech to reduce its piece count. Why they haven't done the same for Star Wars to go ahead and reduce its price by $1 and include an extra figure, I don't know, because to me, that seems like an incredible added value. But for whatever reason, they just haven't done that. Next question. From Rex Eater, he says, do you think LEGO will release a Playscale Jango Fett Slave 1 soon after the UCS one? Can't really afford to spend the $250 on one set and would really love to have an actual Jango Fett minifig. Sometimes a figure like Jango Fett comes out in a $20 set and sometimes he doesn't, and this is the sometimes that he doesn't, and it just is what it is, and that's my perspective on stuff like this. The issue with the way I'm thinking about this is that most UCS sets, like in this range, are like original trilogy sets of things that are like super normal for LEGO to make. So UCS A-Wing, oh, they make A-Wing playsets all the time. UCS TIE Interceptor, of course they would make a small TIE Interceptor. Jango Fett Slave 1 is not your typical UCS set, at least as we've seen for the past decade plus. It's not a Snowspeeder, it's not an AT-AT. It's super obscure comparatively. I don't think it's that obscure, you know, within the LEGO Star Wars fandom. It's also something that they haven't made since 2002. And so just the likelihood that they would make two of them really quickly like that is low to me. I hope they do. I really still feel like this should have been a smaller set. I'm all for the UCS stuff. I think it's great. I just thought like the general masses would have loved a smaller set. I hope they will for your sake. I just can't sit here and tell you in good faith that I really think that they will release a smaller one at the same time that a bigger one is out when they haven't released any version of the ship in 20 years. So that's the rationale behind my answer. So Matt says, who and what kickstarted the LEGO YouTube space? I feel like there's only one word to answer this, and it's stop motion, or is that two words? Lego stop motion was definitely the first stuff that I watched on YouTube when it came to Lego content. And it's also something that does very easily appeal to younger kids who obviously wouldn't want to sit and watch a commentary video about Lego because they're 4 years old and they just want to see some guns shoot some droids because it's fun.
Bring your steels there!
Get off the table.
Oh.
That type of stuff. Next question from Rain Man says, I saw the 25th anniversary cases out of stock on your website. Will you be getting more soon? And actually, while I was filming this video, Brickshell Cases texted me and said that they've been shipped and I've been invoiced for them. And so yeah, we're getting 100 more for Black Friday. We're gonna have them on sale for, I think it was gonna be $49, but let's do $48, so it's $5 off. So I'll have some of them on MandRshop.com, but we're also gonna be live streaming on Whatnot on Black Friday. So we'll be dropping the Santa Bob, the Red Chrome Super Battle Droid. Yeah, if you've been looking for one, we'll have them on sale on Black Friday. I should also say this, because I haven't had a lot of people ask about my MandR Collects channel lately. You know, I feel like that's died down. The channel's pretty much dead at this point, but I'm selling my entire Black Series collection on Black Friday on Whatnot as well. I've got everything listed there if you wanted to go in and bookmark or pre-bid on any. Maybe you get a good deal on those. I have no idea how well they're going to sell, but if you're in the Black Series market, and we've also got a couple of like Sideshow collectible or Hot Toys on there, some cool stuff. Henry says, why did the Gasgano Pod Racer use the 18 plus box art with the black background when it's a 10 plus set? Is that true? Oh my goodness, it is. Good catch. It does say 10 plus, and it does have a black box art. That is very interesting. And so I'll tell you this, I feel like this is the type of question that when I was in the Lego Ambassador Network, I would ask the Lego Ambassador Network people to get me an answer for, and they would never get me an answer for. So we've skipped that frustrating part. My answer is that the actual diorama set used the black box art, and they probably just wanted it to match. DZ says, do you think that leaks affect Lego sales negatively? I, for one, have decided not to buy some sets since I learned about the new UCS Slave 1 in order to save up for it. So let's work through your answer. So you've decided, let's say, not to buy $250 worth of sets now, to buy a $250 set later. And so you're spending the same amount of money no matter what. Doesn't seem to affect their sales negatively to me. And hey, maybe those sets you were going to buy now were sets on sale that they would have made less profit on. And so you're going to be buying that set at full price on day one. That's actually affecting their sales positively or profits positively. Now, I don't feel like there's a possibility that anyone could answer this question for sure one way or the other. But I will say that I think that Lego leaks and the general discussion of rumors around the Lego product have such a great positive impact to the bottom line of Lego in an immeasurable way. The amount of community engagement that sort of thing drives has to just be insane. Like, it just keeps people into your product. It makes them interested in what's coming next. And so I think that it has such a positive effect on their sales. Now Lego, of course, claims they don't like leaks. I mean, Apple also claims they don't like leaks, yet every iPhone ever leaks, and it drives this perpetual news cycle of rumors of the next iPhone and the next iPad that, of course, gives Apple a lot of publicity, and people talk about it, and it gets them excited for the next iPhone and what's going to be new and what they're going to buy. I think that leaks and rumors really, positively impact a lot of the online spaces and just discussion and communities for products like that. I can understand that there are some downsides to having leaks and rumors, but at the end of the day, I think generally it's got to have a positive impact. It's definitely got to be helping make them more money. Next question from Eliza Bates says, I know you do a lot of business at conventions, but with all the expenses it is to sign up, eat, stay at a hotel, do you end up really making money on those trips, or do you lose money? I have a lot of sets I'm going to sell, and I just wanted to know if it's worth it to go to these conventions to sell them. So I recently did the brick conventions. We uploaded our first vlog from preparing for the conventions on MandR Vlogs the other day. And so there'll be a couple more vlogs at the conventions. And then I think at the end of like the last brick convention blog, I was kind of going to break down a little bit of the economics of it. But hey, why not do a little bit of that here and promote the vlog channel? Basically, for the 2 brick conventions that we did, these are smaller conventions, but for 2 people to go, and this does not include paying myself, like let's just say my time was completely free for 11 days. And this is a bit of a unique way to do it because we spent 2 weeks on the road instead of just going for one convention and coming back. So there was added cost with that. But luckily we did get to stop at Rod's house for a night. So that saved us like $100 on hotel for a day, right? So, give and take there. But I think when we did the math all in for the 2 weeks at the conventions, we were basically down $1,000. And again, that does not include paying me for my time for like a week and a half, right? So that's clearly going to be even worse than it was. Now, that does not include the fact that Brick Convention sponsored me to be there. And so, we didn't have to pay for our table space, which you probably would have to. And I also obviously, it was a sponsored bit in a video, was paid to promote the event, right? And so there was a little bit of money there. So I think technically we were positive, but as a business of like selling Lego at a convention if you remove the like influencer side of things that like I make YouTube videos, it lost money. And so, we'll see. I don't know what the future of that looks like. To me, it was worth going. I had a great time. I met a lot of great people, and we wanted to learn how to sell at conventions. And so to us, doing smaller conventions first was the way to go, whether it made money or not. And so, yeah, it's a little weird to sit here and explain that we lost money going to conventions. Generally, throughout the past 12 years of being a Lego fan, at 90% of the conventions I've ever been to, I don't actually sell things. I just go there and hang out and meet a bunch of fans, and that's more than enough for me. We're trying it out. I don't know if it'll be part of the future for sure or not, but I would say if you're just like a normal collector looking to sell things, I don't think signing up to and paying to go to a convention is the way to go, because if you can get in, it's probably a smaller convention. And then for like the bigger conventions, the competition to like actually get in the door and get a vendor table for a convention like that, frankly, like I don't think you'd have much of a shot if you don't know what you're doing. I feel like I know what I'm doing, and I still probably wouldn't be able to get a vendor table at some of these bigger conventions, because it's frankly just hard to understand and know when to do what and how to do it. And there's a waiting list that's been going for years for some of these conventions, and they're just hard to get into. So I would totally recommend just, Facebook Marketplace, whatnot, however you want to sell it, but I feel like there's easier ways than dragging it all to some place. If you guys enjoyed this episode of Ask MandR, make sure you hit the like button. If you have a question or topic for next week's episode, leave in the comments section below, and make sure you guys sign up with Rakuten with my link in the description below. Get that cash back when you're buying stuff on Black Friday or Cyber Monday or any day of the week throughout the year, because you can always get extra cash back with Rakuten. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next week.